The ultimate chip Butty, iconic British sandwich. It's a French fry sandwich, so why is it called a Butty? It's a slang term that many people in the UK use for sandwiches of all kinds, based on butter. Buttered bread, butter, butty, buttered bread, butter, butty, buttered bread, butter, butty. It tastes fantastic. Do you have bread? Do you have butter? Do you have a potato? Do you have salt? You got yourself a chip Butty. Why am I calling this the ultimate chip Butty? Let me tell you, I have more than 150 years of chip making experience behind me. Because my mother and my father had fish and chip shops when I was growing up. They taught me how to make the perfect chips. That's what it's all about. But if you stay tuned right to the end, I'm going to show you something that kicks this up to a very sophisticated sandwich, very sophisticated Butty built upon the chip Butty. But let's start with the basics. Which potatoes should you use? Quite simply, yellow potato. These are Yukon Gold, absolutely fabulous. They're going to give you the real British chip taste. But just make sure you're not using red potatoes. And please, hey, don't use frozen chips. Don't use oven chips. Let's do them real. All right, so you can use regular slice. This is sourdough. You want something that has a little bit of, let's call it firmness, a little bit of firmness to hold those chips and to make it ultimately holdable so you can enjoy. I'm going to use this, which is also sourdough, but is in this nice round shape, so I can cut it a little thicker. We got our butter down here. We've got our salt and our pepper. And what's this? Oil. I am just going to take a moment to start the oil warming up. Right over here. The oil's warming. Here's another secret. There are going to be secrets all over this. You must blanch the chips first. What is blanching? It's cooking without color. So what do? You heat the oil to a lower temperature. Somewhere low, medium low is enough. When you drop them in for the first fry, the first of two, you don't want them to take on color. You want them to cook all the way through but remain pale. Let's cut some bread. Here we go. So I'm going to go in the middle because I want to get a nice size chip Butty out of this. Look how nice and thick. This is how they were when I was a little boy eating chip Butties. Two thick slices. Look at those. Butter the bread. This is Irish butter. I recommend using European butter because it has a lower moisture content and more butter fat, which is what you want on a chip Butty. Now, when you're sliding the butter all over the bread and you think, oh, I've done too much, nonsense! Do some more. The more butter, the more Butty it becomes. You can't go wrong. This is looking fantastic. Really, really good. I'm going to set these aside. We're just going to be putting our chips on those when we come back with our chips prepared. Freshly peeled Yukon Golds. In half. In half again. In half again. When you're having a chip in a chip shop, it's going to look nice and thick like this. And please don't be doing shoestring potatoes. Shoestring potatoes are not chips. Place your comments below. I can take it. They're not chips. Come on. By the way, if you are going to comment, how about you press that subscribe button? Huh? I think I've given you two secrets. This is secret number 3, the perfect chips. You must submerge them in water after they're cut because you're removing the starch. Okay. We're now going to move over towards the frying station and we're going to first of all drain these because you don't want to be putting a whole lot of water into the oil. Now I'm going to show you another little secret. How do you know if your oil is the right temperature? You could invest a good few bucks in one of these. Here's how I was taught to do it by my dear dad. Take a little tiny bit of this little chip here and drop it into the oil. Come take a look at what happens when we drop it in. I can turn the heat down to low, and as I put more chips into the oil, it will lower the temperature of the oil. So it's actually going to work out really, really good. So we don't want a massive sizzle. This is already sizzling just a little too much. Don't panic, just turn the oil down. And as these cool the oil, it will remain cool enough to blanch them. Blanching is cooking without color. This is the gentle frying that we want to see and hear. Very gentle, very polite. These are probably done through, but no color, which is what we want. They have been blanched. Let's test. Now, easy test. Are they done? Let's look for a nice thick chip. Take a little knife with a pointy point and push it in. Does it go in with very little resistance? Are you resisting? Hello? Are you resisting? No, not too much. We're going to pull them out of the oil and we're going to put them on a plate with paper towels. Oh yeah, these are done perfectly. Drain as much oil as we can onto the paper towel. Could you do these the day before and then bring them out from the fridge, for instance, and cook them next day? Yes, you could. I'm going to do the same little trick as I did when we began these. Oh my goodness, they're so soft. You could eat them now. That's not really excited enough. He's just sitting at the bottom going, this is okay. This is not bad. It's really not bad in here. I don't want that. I want to go, Wah! Ish. So here we go. We'll put them in. Let's observe. That's nice. That amount of bubble at this point is nice. I am going to tell you one more time, please use these Yukon Gold style potatoes and follow the steps in this video, because I really want you to experience what a real authentic chip buddy is. As these begin to float, as these chips float to the top of the oil, they're definitely done. We're ready. These have risen to the top of the oil. Let's get rid of as much excess oil as we can. Incredible. Okay, let's turn the heat off the oil and let's go over here. The first thing you do when they come out of the oil and they're still hot, don't wait. Put the salt on. I am going to put a little bit of pepper. Let's take a look here. We want to lay the chips across, actually, in the middle. So when you make that cut, you're cutting through a chip. And when you open the sandwich, it's just going to look tremendous. Oh my. We're going to stop there, but if you want to go another layer, hey, why not? We have constructed the ultimate chip buddy. Here we go, straight through the middle. And the reason we layered the chips the way we did is just look at that. Just look at that, how the chips are layered perfectly. That is the ultimate chip buddy. My mouth is watering. If this buddy is done correctly, the butter will ooze down the corners of your mouth. Really, please give me a moment. Oh, where have you been? There's no polite way to eat the ultimate chip buddy. Leave comments. I want to know if you managed to produce this chip buddy. It's straightforward, it's simple, but it's so effective. Everybody else gone? Did they all leave? Because now I want to share that extra secret with you. I don't know how to start to explain this. If you're not used to this kind of sandwich, you're going to probably freak out. What I'm cooking here is some bacon on medium-low heat. Don't rush bacon. Don't burn it. Crisp it. Crispy bacon is going on. Cheese is going on. Are you ready for this? We're going to make a pan gravy, a simple brown pan gravy with onion. And that's going on. This sandwich is very similar to a poutine, if you're familiar. A poutine is a plate of chips, cheese curd, and gravy. All I've done is pretty much take the poutine, added bacon, which bacon has to go in everything, let's face it, and put it on a chip butty. This should be illegal. Crispy bacon, I'm gonna take it out, and put it in here. How do you make a pan gravy? You have to have some fat, you have to introduce some flour. Hello flour, say hello to fat. Hello fat. And then we just make a simple roux, not an Australian marsupial, a roux, R-O-U-X. The most important thing is to cook the flour to get rid of the raw flour taste. And how do you know it's cooked? It should start to smell like baking bread. Nothing better. I mean, sometimes I just do this and stand over for hours on end inhaling the fumes, and then they have to call people that take me to a place, and then I stay for months, and then I come back, and then I start baking bread. I'm gonna add some onion now at this point. Why did I not add the onion first? You may ask, because I forgot. However, it's okay to add it at this point. This is kind of like a lot of southern cooking, where you make the roux and then add your veggies. Perfectly fine. It's gonna work just fine. I like chunky onion in this gravy, but you can cut it as fine as you want. I'm going to use a little garlic powder. You could use fresh garlic. I happen to think the powder, for some reason, in the gravy just works a little bit better. I'm going to use a little onion powder to really give it that oniony zing, just a little bit. How much? I don't know, 1/4 teaspoon, if that, 1/8 of a teaspoon. Again, I didn't learn to cook that way, but you can figure it out. We got it all going on. Now what do I need? I need something I don't have. Okay, here it is. Beef stock. Stock of a beef. All right, we're gonna just add a little bit at a time. This gravy needs to be reasonably thick. You don't want a thin gravy running off your butty, do you? Don't worry about lumps. When you're adding cold liquid to a hot pan, you will not get lumps. A little bit more. You're just doing this by sight, feel, smell, sound, touch, and the Encyclopedia Britannica. Don't let anybody scare you about cooking. It's very straightforward. Oh, this is going so well. You can see it's still a little too thick, but it's almost there. As you cook, especially when you're not using a precise recipe, taste it. Don't serve it to anybody till you've tasted it, so you know that it's good. So this gravy, I have no idea. It probably needs some salt. So I'm just gonna taste a little bit at this point. Salt, because I used unsalted stock. Why? Because I like to control my salt content. I think that's about right. I also think it would benefit from some pepper, because who is anti-pepper? Who? Tell me. No, I want to know. Who's anti-pepper? Give me the name. Put it in the comments. Who's anti-pepper? One more taste, because I would never dream of serving this to my loved ones, maybe my enemies if it didn't taste good, but not my loved ones. I don't know. We're probably best friends, like forever now. If you do this, I mean, I'm probably going to be at your wedding, you know. But anyway, here it is. So here we have the sandwich, just like a chip butty, but we're going to caress it with some crispy, beautiful, wonderful bacon. My dog is licking up the scraps behind us. If you can hear any snorting, it's not me. We're now going to add some cheese that's going to start melting with those hot chips and that wonderful, wonderful crispy bacon. We're now going to spoon on our onion and gravy. If you're still conscious now, there's something wrong with you. Come on, you should be fainting. You should be fainting at this beauty that is the poutine. Let's call it the poutine butty. I hereby knight you the poutine butty of buttydom. Alright, so now we're going to just put the top on, we're going to put the crown on, as before. Oh my goodness, we're going to cut gently down, the gravy's going to come out. Oh, check it out, check it out. thing to do before we part ways until the next video, where I will be sharing the most amazing comfort food. This is shot during the time of COVID-19. A lot of us are stuck at home. Try some of these. Just try some of these and then walk around. But try some of these.